Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How's it going today? Are you on fire? Well, have you heard of the FIRE movement? It's called, FIRE, and it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And we now have quite the little following here of customers at Jazz Wealth that are really dedicated to this overall movement. And so I reached out to a bunch of them, got their input as to what they interpret the FIRE movement to be, and I kind of want to share some of that with you here today. So in general, you have millennials not really saving. There's 2/3 of all millennials haven't saved anything actually for retirement, but the rest of you apparently are taking this pretty seriously. And so in general, though, the retire early part of FIRE is sort of unique to the individual, right? For example, I have someone here who is focused on retiring. They want to shoot for 48, 47 if they can, and so we've worked up their goals that way. But they're going to actually go be a charter captain. So they're going to get a boat, take people fishing for a living. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to sit around, but the financial independence part of FIRE certainly means that he'll be able to do that and still generate an income if that's what he decides to do. Now, the main motivation from the FIRE sort of movement here is really just being around like-minded people, right? I know that's not the whole idea, but it's really just about finding people that want to celebrate your dough and all your little successes along the way just as much as you do, right? So if you happen to save money doing something or score a great deal on a plane ticket or rewards points or something, you want to be around people that also support that, that celebrate that with you as well. And you kind of want to use each other to push to be more financially supportive. Look, anything that can motivate people to do right by their dough, I'm always going to support. Even Dave Ramsey. I don't agree with everything that he has to say investment-wise, and that's okay. I mean, there's more than one way to go about it. But man, anybody that can motivate somebody to go about that really is very interesting to me, and I'll support that. The other thing, they figured out that time is king, not cash. You know, I've said before, time is king, cash is not king. Well, that's so true, right? But nowadays, the people that are in this FIRE movement and sort of supporting it, they're really focused on the numbers. And I don't mean like, I'm going to have $1 million when I retire. They want to know if they have X number of months left to go until retirement. And, they'll count them in the hundreds, of course, or whatever it may be. But they want to know what they have to do exactly to make their money work in that time period. Because it's important. Retire early, second part of FIRE, is you got to make the most out of your money, be as efficient as possible. Speaking of which, another thing that I gather from you guys is you find ways to be frugal in ways that other people may find sort of hilarious, and that's okay with you, right? And so that leads back to the beginning part, is hanging out with people that support the very things that you want to support, to be sort of excited about. If you decide that you're going to save money by trying some sort of cutting back technique, or maybe choosing a different store or something, whatever you choose, and you have people that make fun of you for that, those are the people. Are they really motivating you to get around your goals there? So, hey, I want to share with you a couple things that you can do here today. The FIRE movement sort of approach is to initially start with, and I love the way this is said, initially start with what you make versus what you spend, and make as efficient use of the difference as possible. That's awesome, right? It's essentially saying your disposable income, be as efficient with that first. And I love that because that's motivating, right? If I were to come to you and say, stop going to Starbucks, stop renting movies, stop doing all this stuff, that's not exciting. How are you supposed to get excited about that? But if somebody can say, I make this much, my bills are this much, and this is what I have left over, now go be efficient with that, you've got power. You now have power to take money that you had the freedom to spend on nonsense, and you get the chance to say, well, I have some of this extra money. I'm going to take this many dollars and put it here and pay down some of these bills, this many dollars, and still enjoy myself, this many dollars, and go towards, whatever you want to do. With the main focus of being, where does that money get used most efficiently to grow towards your eventual goal there? Another thing that I noticed that everybody said when I talked to them, every one of our customers here, was they ask themselves when they buy things, does this really get me where I want to be? Even the littlest thing. If you're going out to eat with friends, that doesn't mean they're not going to go out to eat. It means that they're going to make a cheaper choice, right? They may look for the dollar menu if you're hanging out with your friends, and instead of going for the whole meal where it's $6 or $7 or whatever it may be. If you go to Chipotle, it may mean just having one thing and not getting the drink and not getting the guacamole and the chips that are stale anyways by the time you get them. It means making decisions to say, do I need all of this? Does what this thing is, the food, the toy, whatever it is, does that thing get me closer to my goal? My favorite of all of them are these friggin' headphones, man. That's how I know I'm getting old. I'm 37 now, and it's how you know I'm starting to get old. The people that walk around with the headphones that are $400, the music doesn't sound any better than the $50 headphones. It does not. I mean, and the name of the company is Jazz Wealth, right? I love music. I'm always listening to music, but I like them just as much out of the speakers in my laptop as I do these cheap little headphones that I got like the third to last time I flew on Delta. Like, it doesn't matter. The $400 headphones just kill me. I get it that they're more advanced and everything, but oh my gosh. Things like that. Now, you could take it to the extreme and you could maybe say, hey, all right, let's start with the old cell phone here. Okay, cell phone. If you have Verizon, is there something maybe that's cheaper? Could you use Republic Wireless? Don't they use the same system anyway? So you're getting Verizon Wireless's towers and all that. But, you know, it's $20 a month versus $100 a month. Now, if you watch this and you go, no, I got to have my Verizon, that's okay. Right? You'll find other ways to be more efficient. You'll find other things that you can do in there. If you watch this and you sort of laugh at the idea that someone would use Republic Wireless versus Verizon, then you're not the person that's probably finishing watching this video or any video that has to do with the FIRE movement. So that's that one. But anyways, $20 versus $100 a month for cell phone service per line, that's $1,000 savings a year. The FIRE movement people would then say, I saved the $1,000. As I save it, where's it going to go? Make as efficient use as possible, which boils down to software and things. We actually use, we call it Nest Egg here. It is the second largest financial planning software that all financial planners use. We just give it to our customers and say, if you want to make a plan, I'm happy to follow along with you, but we just give it to you, right? The FIRE movement people, I noticed that every person I called is using the very software that we use. Not exclusively. I know they use other software and I know they use apps and things like that, but they want every advantage. If they can find the advantage in Nest Egg that we give to our customers, they're using it. It's all linked up. I can see everything they've done. If they find advantages in a spreadsheet, that's okay too. That's that part of them. Okay, food is a focus, by the way. Did you know that the latest retail sales numbers that just came out show that at this pace, two retail service numbers, retail spending numbers that come out from now, meaning 2 more months from now, that we will officially have spent more now eating out than we do on groceries. It's not already the case. Some of you might have thought, well, it's got to be already the case. It's technically not at the moment, but the amount of money that we spend at grocery stores is doing this, and the amount of money that we spend at restaurants and eating out is doing this, and if this pace continues, 2 more reports from now, we will officially have broken that number. I'll cover that on the closing beat when it happens, but bottom line is, I mean, like, you got to, you know, eating out's great, you love it, but if you're a FIRE movement person, that's one of the first things you could sort of find more efficient ways to cook and do at home. I watched a few videos and listened to some podcasts as well where people were talking about that, just to sort of brush up on that. And finally, I'll wrap it up here. FIRE movement investors are not scared of credit cards. Now, if you are scared of credit cards, you don't have to use them, right? If you know you will do some serious damage if you have a credit card, then by all means, don't take my general advice, don't take the FIRE movement's general advice or anything. You do what you got to do. But in general, they are not afraid, rather they embrace credit cards purely for the added bonus of rewards, like the Citi Double Cash Card. I know that's a big favorite one with a lot of people there because there's no annual fee and you get 1% when you buy stuff, 1% when you pay stuff off. And so they'll take advantage of that. Here at Jazz Wealth, one credit card. We use it for every single thing, and at the end of the month, we just make the payment and knock it out, right? The rewards points, I mean, we've got gift cards for everywhere that we've been, you know, we get over time, and it's great. I have no problem. I know I will pay it off. I have no interest in paying some obscene amount of interest, so it doesn't bother me to charge that out there. Some of you will find that ridiculous, and that's okay. But if you find yourself a part of the FIRE movement, you'll notice it's a lot different than a Dave Ramsey approach, where instead they say, look, use it. If they're offering a reward that turns out to save dollars in the future, could those dollars not be more efficiently used somewhere else? Maybe so. Well, hey, the bottom line here is if you're a part of the FIRE movement, awesome. Get a tattoo on the side of your shoulder. Do whatever you got to do. I just enjoy people that are interested and excited about saving money, growing their dough, and then sending their money out to go grow along the way. So if that helped you in some way, then awesome. I won't ask you to do anything today. I'll just ask you to keep going and getting excited about your money, your investments, and your savings. If you want to talk about your investments later today on our YouTube channel at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, we do a show called The Closing Beat, where we'll cover all the markets, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I hope to see you there. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.